reiterate that last point?
Sure. Just notice that you guys are not logged into Sage Chat. That plays a factor in the visibility of your products. When I talk about plays a factor in your visibility of your products, when a distributor does a search in Sage, we have an algorithm that determines the order that the products show up in. And one of those parts of that algorithm is being logged into Sage Chat. You can have chat on multiple computers. You just have to set each person up with their own login credentials.
So Jake, have you or Kurt been logged in the past to the chat email?
No, that is that's something that we have not even thought about or set up. I actually sat in on the Sage Zoom call for suppliers the other day and learned a lot more about it. So that was on Kurt and I's list of things to look into. Was Carmen, you might know the answer to this question. Is that directly, like, is that a separate software that we would download, or does it coordinate?
Yeah.
I thought I heard somebody say it coordinated with like live chat, which is what we use on our website. But if that's not the case, that's okay too.
Are you using a Sage website?
No, our website is completely our own.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Sage Chat is a separate software.
Okay.
It coordinates with live chat on our Sage websites.
Gotcha.
So this is basically, this is how it'll look. And I kind of mentioned this in the webinar. Thank you for being on that webinar.
Yeah.
Each person that you set up with login credentials will automatically populate in your contacts here. So you'll be able to like even communicate in our office if you want to.
I gotcha. So yeah, we have a CSR team that is constantly on the live chat feature for our own website. So, and it doesn't cost anything to create, an account for each of them. It's nothing additional.
No.
Cool.
Do you know how to do that?
I don't. So if you could walk us through that'd be helpful too. Sorry, this is probably gonna be a longer call than you were anticipating.
Oh no, you're fine. I want to give you all the information that you need to have.
Sure.
That's usually how I do things. But so you log into sagemember.com.
Yep.
And then you'll go down to the option that says account, and then it says users.
Okay.
You want to be careful when you set users up because you don't want to have too many people that are set up as administrators.
Right.
So when you set them up as a user, there's actually an access right here. And I think all they have to have checked is, I would not check catalog editor unless they're going to have permission to edit the catalog.
Sure.
I would just have supplier center and distributor search checked for them. They don't need to have anything else checked. And then I would ask them to set up their own login information. You enter it in, and then tell them to log into Sage Member. And then once they log into Sage Member, they'll go to support and downloads.
Okay.
And it's the third one down. And there's no limit to the number of users that you set up. And there's no limit to the number of downloads that you have for the Sage Chat. I mean, as you can see, we have all 100 of our employees in here.
Sure.
Contacts information. You guys have this filled out pretty well. I noticed that you guys have some really good ratings. And you want to make sure that you also comment to the ratings. You want to comment back to the ratings or respond to them.
Okay.
And you do that through the Supplier Center. So once you log in, you'll go over to the ratings, and then you just double click on that rating. And it can be as simple as, thank you so much for your business. Let us know if we can help in the future. I mean, it doesn't have to be like a book or anything.
Sure. Yeah, and I also found out about the link that we can put to
Oh,
those.
the rate us now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's something that I'm planning to add to my signature, and I'm going to encourage some of my colleagues to do the same.
Perfect. Okay, the general information. One thing I always tell suppliers is you want to fill in as much information as you possibly can. We have over 1 million products listed in our database. So the more information and details that you have, the better it's going to help your visibility.
Sure.
So like if you have a cancellation policy, a less than minimums, a return policy, you want to be sure to fill this in. This is located in a really strange place of the supplier center. So it's on the catalog tab and it's down here under general information. I wish it was its own tab, but. And these are open fields, so you just hit the edit and then just type in the information.
Okay.
Artwork. Looks like you've got your artwork information. Now, it's not required that you have a catalog, but if you do have a catalog, then the distributors can actually access it. So they can click here to see your catalog. They can click on each, click to go to a different page.
Mm-hmm.
They can print this page out if they want to. They can also download the entire PDF.
Jake, to your knowledge, is our catalog current?
Is your catalog what?
Is the catalog current?
I think so. I think John and I made sure it was right before the virtual show that we had done. Carmen, if you click on maybe page like 6, then I'll be able to tell right away. Actually, one more page. Go to the right one. Okay, it has the 12 by 10 by 4. And let me see. Can you click left 2 pages, Carmen? If it has the 6 by 5 by 2, then it is current. So it doesn't look like it does. So we should update this when I get a chance, Mike. I'll make a note of that as well.
Okay.
When you update your catalog, also make sure you add in the pages.
Yeah.
And then make sure that the page numbers are on all your products.
Okay.
Now, do you guys run specials throughout the year?
Occasionally. We're starting to get more into running some specials to try to acquire new customers. So that is something that I also found to be super helpful when on the previous Zoom that we had done, just because it is something that we're considering more and more as time goes on. But we have not run any like distributor wide promos. It's mainly just been for like the shows and whatnot that we've been doing them.
You can actually, I've seen some suppliers even post their show specials in here as well.
Yeah. We were a little reluctant to do that because we wanted it to be more for like these specific to that user group, the folks that we met at the show. But any specials we run in the future are probably going to be really similar, to that same one that we did for the show.
Gotcha.
So Carmen, are we able to create specials, maybe they're seasonal, and be able to schedule them to where they would appear for a certain period of time and then disappear?
Yes. When specials are added, you actually put in your expiration date, and it automatically goes inactive once it expires.
Okay. And then that's
there's not a way to set them up ahead of time. So you basically have to set them up either the day before or the day of your special, and then just put in your expiration date.
Okay, so there's no real way to schedule them in advance or make them reoccurring.
Correct. I mean, if you want it to, once it expires, you can reactivate it. You just click under expired specials here, and then you just click on the one you want to reactivate and just change the date. You don't have to re-enter it in if it's already in there.
Okay.
I mean, technically, you could set them all up if you wanted to and just put a date that's expired and then just come in here and reactivate them with a new expiration date.
Got it.
But there's no automatic for that, that part. And then you have the sales tools area. Like I mentioned on that webinar, this is where you can put in any additional type marketing information. You can actually put videos in here. You can put in URL links like YouTube links, documents, articles, testimonials. And then if you guys do any advertising with us, like banner ads, you can actually attach up to 3 of the sales tools to your ad.
So what are some of the things, Jake, in your mind that you might want to add to the sales tools? I know we have our video. Anything else that comes to mind?
That's a good question. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I mean, we have that brown box video, you know, that people, I mean, they like it, you know, and it's catchy. But beyond that, I can't really think of anything other than like our catalog, you know what I mean? And show specials, which those have, you know, kind of their own individual sections for.
Okay.
I guess, I mean, we could put like a link to our website there, you know, that would, I think one of the sales tools that, you know, helps people is the ability to DIY the artwork, you know, on our website. So maybe that, but I'll have to think about that one some more, Mike, and you and I can revisit that part.
Okay.
Okay, so I pulled up your products. I'll click in one here. Whoops.
Here we go. This is where we get embarrassed, Mike.
Well, this is why we're going to take time today, and we're going to start trudging through and getting these updated. So no problem. That's why we're here.
So, Carmen, I'll give you a little bit of background on what we've recently noticed. So right before the show, John and I were kind of, he's our other sales rep, by the way. We noticed that what the initial marketing team that managed, you know, these types of backends for us did was they input the individual box styles that we have as our product. And then within each product, they basically listed a SKU of different sizes. So what that did, and if you see, you can scroll down where the quantity or the size is, and, you know, it shows the pricing. But what we noticed was it was pulling the pricing strictly for the smallest and cheapest box that we offer, because that's what was input there above that matrix. So, and John and I wanted to be able to list like our most popular boxes within the products section of our booth at the show, you know? So what him and I decided to do is we went in and we individually added all these other sizes that we, you know, it was a little more urgent because we were scrambling to do it before the show. So we went through and we added, you know, individually sizes that we thought were popular. And our plan is to go back and add each box size and style. Just so, you know, we first of all, we have more products. There's more potential visibility on all of our boxes.
That's not correct.
It's not correct.
Okay. No. Because part of our algorithm is based on product views.
Okay.
If you have 10 products and each one of those products only get one view, that counts as one view. If you've got one product and it gets 10 views, that's going to be better for your visibility.
Okay.
So that's probably why it was listed the way it was.
Okay. How do we combat the the pricing kind of, because we had people reaching out all the time saying, hey, I saw this, this box on Sage was X dollars.
Then they're not looking correctly, because when you scroll down, it has the sizes.
Okay. So yeah, they were just
And
looking
let me
for
show you what it looks like on their website. And you can actually use this website if you want to. It's one of our, it's a sample of one of our websites, so it has all the products on it.
Okay.
Okay. Because your item number is,
So Jake, sorry, I just wanted to make sure I'm following what you guys are saying. So, you're saying that on the website, there's categories set up, and each category has different box sizes under the category, is that correct?
Yeah,
well,
and
each product, yeah.
that's how Jen and them had set it up, Mike, was they did, with the display mailer, box, and then within that display mailer category, there's a range of different sizes. So Carmen, you're saying that and that's where, see the pricing they see right there, that's what they were pulling it from. So they just weren't hitting that drop down and doing their due diligence to actually look at, specific sizes.
Yeah, because we even do this format with apparel.
Mm-hmm.
Because, a lot of times when you get to the 2X and plus, they have different pricing. And some of the awards are done this way too.
Well, I'm just wondering, Carmen, we were looking, and maybe we can do this, spend a minute, but I believe we were looking at some of the other competitors on Sage, and, we were coming up with, 11 products, and they were coming up with dozens of products, and we're like, whoa, wait a second, why are they getting more visibility than we are?
They're not getting more visibility. That's the thing. That, like I mentioned, if you have one product that gets 10 views, that's going to be higher in the list than 10 products to get 1 view each. So you have to kind of look at it that way. I mean, are those competitors just boxes, or do they have other products as well?
I don't know, maybe could we do a test and just take a look?
Yeah, I think most of them within the space do have other products, so that would make some sense. And a lot of them aren't as standard as we are. Like, we offer stock sizes, whereas they might do, custom sizes or something a little less standard.
Yeah, let me, I'm going to pull up something in Sage Member real quick. I'm going to go to.
And this is where, like Michael Lumpy, when we were talking, he was like, yeah, you should be changing this and doing that. And this is one of the items he mentioned that we weren't being presented properly.
Here's the algorithm for the best match. So when distributors do searches, this is the criteria that it looks at to determine the order that the products show up in. So it's, and I actually did a webinar on this as well. It's recorded in there. It's based on the search terms. It's based on if the product is current and verified, popularity of the products, so determined by product views, as well as the product being used in the system. Popularity of the supplier, the ratings, both the number of ratings and the value of the rating, whether you're online with Sage Chat, whether you provide order status, whether you provide inventory, and if you're an Advantage member, and how long you've been an Advantage member.
So would it be wrong for us to keep the product categories we currently have, but also have individual product up there, so we do both?
No, I will make you remove them.
So what's the here? So you're saying the best way to do it is to keep it exactly how it is, listed
It
here.
is, but it is up to you guys. You can do one or the other. My recommendation is this way, but if you choose to do it individually, they have to have different item numbers. The product name has to be differently, and you have to delete this product listing.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. I just feel like it looks really cluttered, you know what I mean? With like within the display mailer category, there's 9 different sizes. And then within each size, we have to input 2 different price matrices because you have the ability to choose outside print only versus inside. So when you hit that drop down, you know, then it just looks there's just a lot of information, you know what I mean, in that square. So let me think on that some more. Do you know how many views does this particular product have right now? Is that constantly updated, or is it like a
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it goes
Well,
back from day one, or is it views based on like current, you know, is it current views or like overall?
that was last month.
Okay. So um so the algorithm pulls its data on the month. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can actually see your product views in the supplier center as well.
Okay. Yeah, I know how to do that part actually.
So Carmen, if we do, if you wouldn't mind, could you just do a quick search on box and maybe use a keyword like custom or something like that? Because I just want to see.
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second. Let me see if I can fix that. Let me get my sound working here. Okay, well, I'm not quite sure what to do about sound. Let me see if there's a headset or something I can find.
Go ahead and give me a keyword and I can try.
So if you search boxes for category and then just put custom,
I'm sorry, what was the keyword?
custom,
I didn't understand it. I'm sorry.
He's saying custom. CUS.
Custom, there you go.
Yep, CUSTOM.
Thank you. We're going to come up with a lot. 3,800.
yeah, so let's see. Is there another category like box packaging and then custom? I'm trying to match what we did before.
No, there's not. It's boxes is the category. Normally, probably what people do is they put in a size if they're
Yeah,
looking
well,
for a specific.
Carmen, select boxes dash package under category.
No, the category is boxes.
Can you change it to boxes slash? There is
No.
a single list on the right.
That's keywords.
You're in the keyword box right now, but if you go to category, so you pack boxes dash packaging.
It's the same category. They're cross-listed. It's going to pull up the same products.
Can you put custom in the keywords and just see what happens?
It's going to pull up the same products. Well, it pulls up more actually.
Okay, can you find, I'm just curious to see where BoxUp is coming up in this. Can
I'm
you scroll
sorry.
down a little?
And that's all based on that algorithm that you were just talking about, Carmen.
Yes.
And includes things like verified products and views and chat and all those types of things that matter.
Yeah, and how long they've been Advantage members, how many ratings they have. Yeah.
Right. All those things come into play.
Carmen, can you scroll down a little bit? I just want to see if BoxUp comes up anywhere.
There we are.
Okay. So now if we look at, I just want to see what some of the other competitors are doing. They've got, they're coming up, like if you look at Jubilee Brands, they've got several big promotional products. They've got several, and they're giving specific box sizes. So like a 12 by 12 full color mailer box.
So here's kind of my thoughts on it, Mike, would be that if the views aren't historical based on like day one, right? So if they just kind of reset each based on each month, am I understanding that correct, Carmen?
I'm going to double check with my manager about it.
Okay, because if they do reset, then I would be more comfortable, with having all of our products in there and letting the ones that actually, the sizes that people are interested in, like the 12 by 10 by 4 and the, our best sellers, establish the view rate, for the other 27 products that we actually have. But I want to think about that a little bit more before we make the decision to list the products, one way or the other. But we are in the process of reviewing that and making sure we have the products in there accurately and descriptions are good and they're verified, all those types of things.
Yeah, and I'll double check regarding the product views to see if that's historical or not.
Yeah, that'd be great, because that would be a big decision factor. If it did kind of reset on a monthly basis based on your previous month's views, I would be more inclined to alter it. But if it was historical, based on overall views ever, then I have a little bit more of a stomach ache about starting from scratch, basically.
I'm almost guessing it's probably historical, but I'll double check.
Right on. Thank you.
And Jake, I want to make sure too that, we're thinking about how people might search. And, for instance, someone might be slower to, look at BoxUp if they do a search and they only see, 11 products coming up in listings versus, 30. And
yeah, I don't disagree with you there either, Mike, for sure.
And then they also might be, in cases where they're searching based on specific size, other companies are going to come up much higher than we will, from what I understand, because we won't be listing boxes by size. We're listing them like we do today. So I feel like we're missing out on a lot of searches that way. If someone knows they want a 5 by 4 by 4 box, we won't even come up anywhere near the top at all.
Sure.
And I think, it's possible that if it is historic, we would see an initial setback. But I'm just what I'm trying to figure out is, from a long run standpoint, is BoxUp going to be better off in the end versus just having 11 products and hoping that they're going to drill into each product. You know how it is, especially systems that it can be, if they have to dig very far, they're going to move on and click on something else.
Sure. So, Carmen, is there anything else in terms of the product listings that we need to kind of be aware of, or?
When I was looking at your products, let's see. You got good description, keywords. This actually should say, I mean, you've got pretty much everything. And I'm assuming you guys don't charge setup charges, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Why is this marked as not suitable for all audiences?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's probably, I mean,
It
is
should not be.
So,
Okay.
Because if it's marked as not suitable, it will not show up on distributors' websites.
Okay.
I don't know if this has anything to do with,
Prop 65.
yeah,
No, Prop 65 is under compliance.
Okay.
And let's see what you've got.
well, then definitely.
Is this, if it's compliant with Prop 65, you need to check it.
Okay, it's not, so we don't want that checked.
How is it not?
There's a chemical in the yellow ink that we use that when we got everything tested, came back and they said that it wasn't compliant with Prop 65. So yeah,
Are you required to put a warning label?
we put a warning label on all the shipping boxes that we use to ship the products to California. Anyway, everything that goes to California.
So then you would mark it as Prop 65 compliant and put whatever warning label you
Okay.
put.
Okay,
Yeah. Because if you put the warning label, then it is compliant.
gotcha. So, Mike, in terms of the general section of this of the product page, we do have nice descriptions in there, but I would John and I just basically copy and pasted these from the website, and I think you and I have both been in agreement that the descriptions on the website are a little dated.
Yeah.
So this would be John. What John and I can do is that if we do end up deciding to go with individual products on here or sizes, then what I might need your help with would be coming up with creative and accurate descriptions on the sizes.
Okay, that sounds good.
And also just remember, you don't have to repeat words. It doesn't help your visibility to repeat words. It doesn't hurt it. I mean, just as a side note, because there's only 200 character limit here.
I gotcha.
And the system, when they search by keywords, it looks in every field.
Gotcha.
So if you get to a point where you feel like you're running out of space, start looking where you're duplicating.
Sure.
Yeah.
Carmen, I put on a headset. Can you hear me any better?
It is
Oh,
better,
much
Mike.
better. Yes.
Oh, great. Sorry about that.
No worries. And I really like how you added in the note here that you've got sizes that are excellent for specific things. I think that helps also in the visibility. So if somebody is looking for a box for jewelry or something else, it has it in there.
Great.
But your product data you've got done really well. Go back here.
So here, I'm just a quick question for you. So we've got, oops.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you upload images that have logos on them, you need to mark them as logoed.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's going to pull it into the virtual design studio, and they can't really do virtual samples with it.
Right. So if we upload like a blank white box there, then we would not check that, and they can like take it
Correct.
into that studio and get a 3D mock-up and whatnot.
Actually, you want to upload it in as part of the second. Oh, I just found out that it keeps 6 months worth of records as far as product views.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah. You actually have a blank one, a white one here. Just, on these extra ones, if you do any that have logos, just be sure to.
Gotcha. We'll keep that in mind for sure.
So what is the design studio? I'm not sure I was familiar with that.
Okay, yeah, let me show you how that works. It's really kind of cool. It's built into all of our Sage tools, including our website.
Mhm.
So if distributor wants to do a mock-up of a product, they just click this little coffee cup right here. And it opens up the virtual design studio. But because you don't have these marked as logo, it goes ahead and pulls those in.
Got it. So
Yeah.
if now, and then because only one would be marked as non-logo, it'd just be the one box that would come up.
Yes.
And then what's like a best in class approach, if you will, for showing like, is this this doesn't seem like a very helpful view of a box to be able to mock up in Design Studio.
Yeah, Mike.
I
That's
might do something more like this.
Yep.
Because they do have these little features where they can curve it and lay it actually on top of it. So I would.
Yeah, just a blank white closed box, Mike.
Yeah.
I think might work best for that.
Yeah, and to be able to see more of the top, potentially, it might even be a a better angle. So because that's what people are going to be wanting to see mainly is the top. How does the top and the front look?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's great that you're putting different, ideas that you've done, because it kind of shows the versatility that you have, as far as your images. Because like you said, you can upload up to 99 images. You just need to mark them correctly. That would be it.
Right on.
Now, also when distributors are looking at your products, and I'm assuming you've probably seen some purchase orders come over to you from Sage, have you?
We have, yes.
Okay. So it's real easy for them to do that. They just click this order form box down here at the bottom. Maybe. Oh, I have something open. That's why. Okay. And then they can pick which form they want to create to send over to the supplier. They can also create forms to send to their customer. So if I did a purchase order, it comes up and then I can fill in my information, like how many I want and things like that. It's going to ask me. I'm just going to put 50 in here. And all of our forms follow the same format. So when they come over to you, they basically all look the same. They just tell you right here what it is.
Yep.
Distributors can customize this so they can put like their own logo and all that kind of information. But the layout is going to be all the same. And they can also attach the artwork, which comes over as a link to you. It'll be a link down here that you click on. Perfect.
Yeah, we've gotten a few of those actually. So it makes it really nice when it's all similar to one another.
Well, and it's really nice too because they can create, let's say they create a request for quote over to you guys. And you send them back the information. They can take that request for quote and actually change it to a purchase order without having to go back into the product. They can also take that information and put it into a presentation. So they're all kind of interlinked. So they can go from, change from one document to the next based on what they need.
Sure. Yeah, that's nice.
It is pretty cool. If I do say so myself. When I first started at Sage and you logged into Sage Online, this thing was like a really kind of ugly blue color, the background, and it had 3 choices right in the center. That was it.
Jeez.
Of what to do. Yeah. Product search, supplier search, and I think it was specials, and that was it.
Right. Yep, that is a neat tool for sure.
Yeah, but you just have to remember when you're putting your information into the system that it does show up on the distributor's website, they can use that information to create custom flyers, custom catalogs. They can send the information to their customer in different ways. So that's why it's really important to fill in as much as you can on each individual product. Have those good images in there because all that information shows up.
Sure.
And just go through and make sure they're not checked as not suitable. So
Yeah, right.
there's a specific use for that,
It's
but not with
adult
boxes.
toys.
Yeah,
I'm
and we're getting more CBD and cannabis stuff in our
right.
system.
Yeah. That makes
And
sense.
you know, if I was a distributor and I worked primarily with youth organizations, I wouldn't want that on my website.
I could see that.
Yeah. So that's kind of why that's there. But yeah, your products definitely do not fit into that category. So
Yeah, I'd say I agree.
no. But I mean,
So-
you're doing a really good job. There's just a few things that, you know, like the Sage chat, you know, responding to your ratings, encouraging more customers to rate you guys. Like I said, you've got really great ratings right now. And then just make the decision on, you know, if you want to list them individually or keep it as it is.
So
I mean, if
we-
you do decide to do it individually, it's kind of easy. You can copy and paste.
Right.
Yeah, because if you go back to our listing of our 11 products, we already have several of them individual, right?
Yeah, that's the ones John and I went through and did.
Okay,
And I just feel like it looks cleaner too, you know, and
I agree.
it's descriptive right there, and you know, in
Mhm.
terms of the size of the box. And um I think we need to get those keywords kind of nailed down, you know.
Mhm.
But beyond that, I think that's what I'm leaning toward too, Mike. And we even did, like, you see where it says square mailer and then it just says various sizes, you know, we kind of
Mhm.
updated that. But we have some work to do in there for sure, that I think could really benefit us.
And I
Yeah,
just love even, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I wouldn't put this in the tubes category unless it's actually a tube.
Yeah, we did that because of packaging. Is there a different keyword that we could look at in turn instead of the?
You mean category?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
No, category is always going to be boxes. You would put packaging and stuff like that in as keywords.
Okay, gotcha. So we should.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Sounds good. We can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, your keywords are really more those physical descriptive words,
Right.
and also other names for the product.
Right. Like
when I say that, I always use USB drives as an example because they can be called so many different things.
Yeah.
Basically, depending on what part of the country you're in.
Sure.
So that's what your keywords are going to be. And probably a lot of times, depending on the category that the distributor is searching in, they may only search by keywords.
Right.
But it would still pull it up if they put in boxes as a keyword. But it just, because we have so many products in our database, the distributors are really learning how to kind of filter those searches down a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Otherwise, you could be getting stuff you don't even want to, that's not even on your radar.
Right.
And then just make sure that your keywords, the first letter of every word is capitalized.
Okay.
And that doesn't affect the visibility, but what happens is when distributors are searching, search. Let me just put. They have the filters over here, and it just looks better when they're all the same format. There you are. Are you guys still there?
Yep.
Oh, it just got really quiet.
Oh.
Sorry, I
trying to
was
make
muted
sure.
and didn't even realize it.
So, Jake, anything else you can think of?
I don't think so. It is helpful to see, what the distributors see, when they do a search like this. And they're, like I said before, we are aware of our current product listing and kind of making those adjustments, but it was helpful to know, exactly how it works, and so we can make a informed decision, about that. But beyond that, I think, learning
I
about
totally agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think it's important that you guys, as a supplier, kind of go through an overview here. Like you said, you can see how they can narrow their searches down, what it looks like when they see it, because it is laid out differently than in the supplier center.
right, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, if you have any questions when you're downloading the Sage chat or anything, just please feel free to let me know.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, Carmen, unless you had anything else, I appreciate your time and helping us out, learning a little bit more. It's always nice. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank you,
you're very
Carmen.
welcome.
Would
You are
you
most
do me
welcome.
would you do me a favor, Carmen? Could you send us a link to this video, this recording,
Yes.
just so we could, because I think we're going to be working on getting everything tightened up, and it'd be great to be able to reference this throughout our efforts.
We'll definitely do that.